Good day, everyone. So I'm Juliet Montesilia. I'm your professor for this semester, and I will discuss everything about forensic chemistry. Okay, so please read our course description that comes from CHED CMO, Commission on Higher Education, and you will find this in your syllabus. Okay, so it states that forensic chemistry is a branch of chemistry which deals and applies the chemical principles in solving crimes. It deals with the application of chemistry in the identification of physical evidence. It includes collection, preservation, examination, and study of blood, semen, and other body fluids for DNA, and then gunpowder and explosives, hair and textile fibers, chemical aspects of document examinations, problems of glass fragments and glass fractures, moulage, metallurgy, petrography as applied to crime investigation, study of nature, physiological action, chemical and physical properties, dosage, treatment, and detection of poisons. So, forensic chemistry is just one of the subdivision of forensic science. And other subdivision of forensic science are criminalistics, digital forensics, ballistics, forensic anthropology, what else? Forensic DNA analysis, forensic toxicology, lie detection, fingerprints, question document examination, and so on. So actually, forensic chemistry is like a little of everything. It's like the introduction to the major subjects that you would take on the coming semesters. Okay, so I'm going to discuss today the history of forensic medicine, forensic chemistry, and crime laboratory. And I will be limiting only the local of this discussion in the Philippines. So, in 1858, the first medical textbook was printed, including pertinent instruction relating to medical legal practice by Spanish physician Dr. Rafael Quinor de Mas, who was the chief army physician during that time. And the title of the book was Manual de Medicina Domestica. Well, we all know in our Philippine history that the pioneer of knowledge during that time were the well-privileged class, and these are the Spaniards. Okay, and then in 1871, teaching of forensic medicine was included as an academic subject in the foundation of the School of Medicine of Universidad de Santo Tomas, that is known as the University of Santo Tomas or UST today. All right, so next is March 31, 1876. That is by virtue of Royal Decree number 188 of the King of Spain, the position of medical titularis was created. So what was the function of this position? They were in charge of public sanitation and at the same time medical legal in the administration of justice. Okay, and then December 15, 1884, there was a creation of a committee that would study the mineral waters of Luzon under the supervision of General Joaquin Favalor and Anacleto del Rosario, who was the chief chemist. And then in September 13, 1887, Laboratorio Municipal de Manila was created and had the function of analyzing the food, water, materials for a standpoint of public health and legal medicine, and also specimen for all clinical purposes were analyzed in this laboratory. The next is in 1894, the rules regulating the service of medical titular references was published. Then in 1895, a medical legal laboratory was established in the city of Manila. But there was a problem. How about the other places in which they also in need of medical legal help when it comes to their family members that is in need of medical legal assistance? So the medical legal laboratory was extended to different provinces in the Philippines and not only in Manila. Okay, so in 1898, so this time, the American civil government preserved the Spanish forensic medicine system. So during the entry of the American regime, the American civil government did not change the Spanish forensic medicine. They preserve it and still observed by the medical expert or medical legal expert during that time. And then in 1899, the first crime laboratory by the U.S. Army was established. And this first scientific laboratory was on the bank of Pasig River under the supervision of U.S. Lieutenant R.P. Strong. And he took charge for about 2 years. Then in 1901, the commission, okay, the Philippine Commission created the Provincial, Insular, and Municipal Board of Health as provided by Act number 157, 307 and 308. Take note that that is Act, not Republic Act. They are kind of different from one another. Okay, so the Philippines Commission assigned the respective inspectors and president of the same medical legal the duties of the medical titularies during the Spanish regime. Also, the Philippine legislatures maintained the pre-existing medical legal system in full force in the administrative code. All right. Now, in July 1, 1901, the Bureau of Government Laboratories, or BGL, was created, and its purpose was to perform biological and chemical analysis and to reproduce vaccines and serums, which is also known as serum. Okay, so this sera is a clear yellowish fluid obtained upon separating whole blood into its solid and liquid components after it has been allowed to clot. Well, you would know more about this when we discuss serology. All right, so by virtue of number 156 by Civil Commission, Dr. Paul C. Freer became the first director on June  21, but he assumed position on September  21. In 1919, this was the year when the University of the Philippines created the Department of Legal Medicine and Ethics with a head having a salary of 4,000 pesos per annum, half-time basis. Okay, so with Dr. Sixto de Los Angeles as the chief. Okay, so in January 10, 1922, the head of Department of Legal Medicine and Ethics becomes or became the chief of the Medical Legal Department of the Philippine General Hospital. So that was Dr. Sixto de Los Angeles. So this is actually without pay. So actually, it was just voluntary. Okay. And then in March 10, 1922, the Philippine legislators enacted Act number 1043, which was incorporated with Administrative Code Section 24, Section 2465, and this is amended by Commonwealth Act number 537, and it was further amended by Republic Act 272. So Act number 1043 that was incorporated with Administrative Code as Section 2465 provided that the Department of Legal Medicine of the University of the Philippines becomes branch of the Department of Justice. Then in December 10, 1937, the Commonwealth Act number 181 was created. The name of Bureau of Investigation was changed to National Bureau of Investigation under Commonwealth Act. It was passed in order to create the Division of Investigation under the Department of Justice. And then the medical legal section was made as an integral part of the division with Dr. Gregorio Silantine as the chief. Then in March 3, 1939, the Department of Legal Medicine of the College of Medicine at the University of the Philippines was abolished, and its functions were transferred to the medical legal section of the Division of Investigation under the Department of Justice. Well, then in 1945, immediately after the liberation of Manila, I hope you know your history, okay? The Philippine history. Okay, so after the liberation of Manila, the Marshals of the United States Army created the Criminal Investigation Laboratory with the Office of the Medical Examiner as an integral part and with Dr. Mariana Lara as Chief Medical Examiner. Okay, and then in June 1947, Republic Act 157 was created. So the Bureau of Investigation was passed, or the Bureau of Investigation was created by virtue of an executive order of the President of the Philippines. So under the Bureau, a medical legal division was created with Dr. Enrique V. de los Santos as the chief. So all provincial, municipal, and city health officers, physicians of hospitals, health centers, asylums, penitentiaries, and prisons and colonies are ex-official medical legal officers, and they may perform medical legal writs. Now, in June 18, 1949, Republic Act number 409, which was later amended by Republic Act number 1934, provides for the creation of Office of the Medical Examiners and Criminal Investigation Laboratory under the Police Department of the City of Manila. And then on December 23, 1975, Presidential Decree number 856 was promulgated and provides the following. Person authorized to perform autopsies are only the health officers, medical officers of law enforcement agencies, and then members of medical staff of accredited hospitals. Autopsies shall be performed in the following cases whenever required by special laws, upon order of a competent court, a mayor, or fiscal or city fiscal upon written request of police authorities, whenever the Solicitor General or the provincial or city fiscal thinks or deem it is necessary to the center and take possession of the remains for examination to determine the cause of death, and whenever the nearest kin shall request in writing the authorities concerning asserting the cause and nature of death. So at present, there are two distinct crime laboratories in the Philippines. One is the Philippine National Police Crime Laboratory, and two is the Forensic Chemistry Division of the National Bureau of Investigation. For the history of the Philippine National Police Crime Laboratory, traces its origin from the fingerprint section of the Division of Military Police Command, Armed Forces in the West Pacific of the United States Army, or the AF West Pacific. It was organized in May 19, 1945, and then later on it was upgraded into branch and remained as Crime Laboratory Branch of the Criminal Investigation Service, or what we call as the CSI or CIS. The investigative arm of the Philippine Constabulary, the laboratory underwent several reorganization and changed names. It was organized on May 26, 1959 as a separate unit of the Philippine Constabulary, then under Table of Organization and Equipment 3-07, or what we also known as the TOE 3-07 of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, and was renamed as Philippine Constabulary. So, on December 1, 1960, pursuant to the executive order, the unit was renamed as PC Central Crime Laboratory. And then on June 28, 1961, it was activated as separate unit of the Armed Forces of the Philippines. So, the national headquarters of Crime Laboratory in Camp Crame was constructed during the term of the then Philippine Constabulary Chief, Brigadier General Vicente Rabal. It was on December 4, 1968. So the construction was completed on July 22, 1969. And then in 1975, scientific equipment were acquired through war repatriation program of the Japanese government under the authority of HPC, or Hiroshima Peace Builders Center, wherein 12 regional units were established with the emerging of the Philippine Constabulary and the Integrated National Police on May 16, 1985. So this PCCL was then designated as PCINP, or known as Philippine Constabulary Integrated National Police Crime Laboratory Service, or the CLS as for HPC. Today it is known as the Philippine National Police Crime Laboratory, or in its complete name, that is CLO SOCO, or that is the Crime Laboratory Office, Scene of the Crime Operation. And for the history of Forensic Chemistry Division of the National Bureau of Investigation, it is actually not available within the books that is circulating in the academy or in the academe. and it is also not available online. So we are just reiterating, or we will just discuss how does the National Bureau of Investigation was created. So again, the National Bureau of Investigation was created, or Commonwealth Act number 18, that was created on November 13, 1936. It was the creation of National Bureau of Investigation. Originally, it was called as Division of Investigation, which was patterned after the U.S. Federal Bureau of Investigation, or what we call known as the FBI. So it was followed by the law that, or Republic Act 157, that is created on June 1947, that was reorganized from the Division of Investigation into Bureau of Investigation under the Department of Justice. So then followed by the Executive Order number 94, that was created on October 4, 1949, where the Bureau of Investigation was renamed to the National Bureau of Investigation, which remained attached to the Department of Justice, or DOJ. So this Executive Order number 294, that was created on July 25, 1987, and then the Administrative Code of 1987 provided for the organizational structure and operation of the DOJ and its branch agencies, including NBI. So that's the end of our discussion. If you have any need for some clarification, just leave a comment or ask questions, and I'll respond as soon as possible and the best way I can. Okay? So thank you and God bless.